So Rohan, if you are ready, we can begin with the mock.
Yes, sir.
All right, right. All right. So, Rohan, like we could see from your DAF that you are much interested in music, all right, and also the instrument. So, like if I say that these musician, or to be specific, rather the vocalist. So, are these people born with this talent, or can this talent be acquired? The talent of singing.
Uh, so I would say that speaking also from experience, sir, that this talent can be acquired with rigorous practice as well. There are certainly born geniuses who have a natural gift towards vocal music, but I believe, sir, very dedicated training can help people achieve greatness in music, sir.
But if somebody has a like bad voice, can even they can be singers?
Uh, so I believe so, as I've heard from my teachers, that anyone can sing, provided that they are dedicated enough.
All right. So, like you have, I could see that you in general have a good cultural orientation, right? Through your dad, right? You studied in Maharshi Vidya Mandir, and then you are into, the classical music, even in learning Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
Just tell me how this inclination can also help you in Indian Forest Services.
So, uh, so I believe that having a background toward and an inclination toward cultural aspects puts me in a good position, as a lot of tribals and locals dwelling near forests have very specific cultures, and through this I will be able to relate closely with them. Also, sir, I believe classical music and its background puts me very close to nature, as the origin of classical music it in itself is from nature. And I believe, sir, that also has increased my love and inclination towards environment. And I believe, sir, those are the things that will help me in the services, sir.
All right. So, Rohan, are you aware of some public-led environmental movement or environmental protest in India?
Uh,
Like movements like Chipko movement. Have you heard about Chipko movement?
yes, sir.
So, what was Chipko movement?
So Chipko movement was primarily led by the villagers of Uttarakhand, and it was led by late Mr. Sundarlal Bahuguna. Also, sir, we had an earlier Chipko movement as well in the Rajasthan, led by Amrita Devi, which protested for the protection of khejri trees, sir, if I recall correctly.
All right. So, like they were focused on protection of khejri trees.
Yes, sir.
So, like from what they wanted protection to khejri tree?
Sir, as I can recall, there was an order regarding cutting down of the trees due to the increasing infrastructural needs of the British Empire. But the local communities revered these trees as auspicious and worshipped them as well. So the movement was primarily regarding to conserving their cultural rights, sir.
All right. So, like, what was the output of the movement?
So I believe many of people of that region were martyred as they were protesting for this cause, sir.
All right. All right. So, like, can you do you know some link between these environment related movement and songs or music?
Sir, I'm not able to recall any of them right now, sir.
All right. No issue. No issue. Right. Okay. So, yeah. Ron, can you tell me how? First, tell me three most biggest problem India is facing in terms of environment protection.
So, so I would say a rapid pace of deforestation is one of the causes due to our infrastructural and developmental needs. Second, I would say, sir, the high rate of different types of pollutions like air pollution and water pollution is another challenge. And third, I would say, sir, an overarching problem of climate change and global warming is the third biggest challenge. Sir.
So do we have laws? Can you name some laws which deal with these issues?
We have many laws dealing with these issues. So the overarching law towards environment protection is the Environment Protection Act of 1986. So we also have laws regarding water and air pollution. That is the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act. Uh, we have Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, Water Cess Act, uh, and recently, sir, we also have the NGT Act that is acting towards the environmental jurisprudence in this regard, sir.
All right. So the third one you mentioned was, I think, climate change, right? So can you tell me what are India's commitment to Paris Agreement and how they are related to forest conservation?
Under Paris Agreement, we have committed that we will try to sequester 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide by 2030. And in this goal, sir, a primarily role will be played by the afforestation initiatives that we have. Secondly, sir, we have also committed to decrease the emission intensity of our GDP by revising its target to 45% by 2030. Uh, Also, sir, we have also committed in other qualitative measures, which I'm not able to recall right now.
All right. Has India committed net zero emissions?
Yes, sir. In separate Panchamrit principles, we have committed that we will try to achieve a net zero by 2070. Sir.
All right. All right. So I think that's it from my side for now. Another thing I want to ask you is that have you visited any national park or wildlife sanctuary?
Yes, sir. I recently visited Pench National Park, sir.
Pench National Park.
Yes, sir.
All right. So okay. Thank you. Over to Rajnish.
Thank you, sir.
So, Rohan, you have done some course in spoken Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
So, can you please introduce yourself in Sanskrit?
Sure, sir. So can I take a moment?
Take your time.
नमो नमः मम नाम रोहनः अस्ति अहं फतेहपुर जनपदस्य निवासी अस्मि मम शिक्षा क्षेत्र पदार्थ विज्ञान एवं अभियांत्रिकी अस्ति 2018 तः अहं यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विस परीक्षायाः अभ्यासं कुर्वन्ति धन्यवादः
Okay. Badhiya. Good. So, Rohan, as we all know that Sanskrit is considered to be one of the most scientific language, and people talk very high about the grammar of Sanskrit and the way it has been developed. But the day-to-day life, the Sanskrit has not achieved maybe the position which it deserves. So, what do you feel? What are the reason? And do you feel that the government has done enough to popularize this language?
So I would say it is very true that Sanskrit is very scientific and has been recognized for its unique grammatical qualities. So regarding the reasons for which Sanskrit has not achieved a very common place in the masses, I believe so there are a number of reasons. First of all, I would say, sir, due to certain social factors like restriction of Sanskrit in the so-called upper classes, upper castes, has been one of the limiting factors where Sanskrit traditionally throughout the ages had not been accessible to many of the common people. Also, sir, in recent times, I would say there has been a large perception regarding Sanskrit as being a very tough language. And thirdly, I would say, sir, uh, it has also a component of our colonial history, where English has replaced our languages in a large way and emerged as one of the most famous language that we have, sir. So coming to the second part, in terms of the initiatives that have been taken, I would say, sir, there have been many types of initiatives, like the initiative of having Sanskrit news on our national news channel, as well as having regular competition in terms of translation of movie songs, uh, which are very interesting. But I believe, sir, a lot more can be done in this regard.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So, you are from Fatehpur. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so this Fatehpur is different from Fatehpur Sikri.
Yes, sir.
So, kindly tell something about your city, Fatehpur.
So, uh, so my city Fatehpur is located in the Doaba region in Uttar Pradesh, between River Ganga and River Yamuna. So it is very close to the city of Kanpur, Lucknow, as well as Prayagraj. I would say, sir, it has very fertile soil due to being located in the Gangetic plains, sir.
Okay. Any historical and cultural fact about your city?
So, Uh, so historically, it has been a land of one of the lands of the 16 Mahajanpadas. It was part of the Vatsa kingdom. The capital of Vikramaditya, that was Kaushambi, is also very near to Fatehpur. So later, coming to the medieval period, it was a highly contested region due to its fertility, and it got its name due to a conflict between Raja of Raja Sitanan and Nawab of Jaunpur, who got its victory over him and got the name Fatehpur. One more interesting fact, sir, River Ganga takes a northwardly turn here, and it is said to be the land of sage Brahgu, sir.
Okay, good. So you mentioned about the river Ganga, and on other side you have river Yamuna,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's Doaba. So the reason of two rivers. So what kind of aquatic wildlife you found in these two rivers?
So, Uh, sir, as per my knowledge, in River Ganga, we have the very famous Gangetic dolphin, which is the national aquatic animal of India. So there are a number of other fishes like rohu, catfish are also found. So we also have some species of tortoise, like the soft shell tortoise, or the red crown roof tortoise. Uh, so, to my knowledge, dolphins are also found in River Yamuna, and not as close to my city, sir, but tributaries of Yamuna like Chambal also have gharial, sir.
Okay, this is good. Have you ever heard of red crown roof turtle?
Yes, sir.
So please tell me what you have heard about this species.
Uh, sir, so as I can recall, it is one of the threatened species, and also it is also subject to certain degree of illegal wildlife trade. So that's the extent of knowledge I have on this species, sir.
Okay, fair enough. So recently you visited the Pench Tiger Reserve.
Yes.
So where exactly you visited? There are two Pench Tiger Reserve. One is in Maharashtra and one is in Madhya Pradesh. So which one you visited?
So I visited from the MP side of the Pench Tiger Reserve, and
Okay,
visited one of the buffer zones. That's the Khawasa zone, sir.
okay. So what you observed there? What kind of animals you found there?
So primarily we were hoping to see the tigers, which is it's famous for, but unfortunately we didn't find any tiger. But a very unique spotting, sir, we had was the dhole or the wild dogs, and I was informed, sir, that it is a very unique sighting, and they hunt in packs. and also called the whistling hunters. So we also spotted some sambar deers and nilgays, sir.
Okay. So why the dhol or the wild dogs are known as a whistling hunter?
Uh, so as I understand, they make a sound while hunting, and that's why they're called the whistling hunters. And they're very infamous for taking out chunks from the animal they are attacking while it's live, sir.
So why infamous you use this phrase? So it is, don't you feel that every species has its own way of, hunting, and that's how they have evolved.
So,
So what is the reason you use this phrase infamous?
so I believe that largely it's because of our own idea of projecting our principles towards the animals. So while the natural world has its own laws, as we call the law of the jungle, but as humans, we try to see it from our own eyes, and that's hence the word infamous, sir.
Okay, no issues. So this much from my side. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Rishabh, you may take over, please.
Hi Rohan.
Hello, sir.
So am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you belong to Fatehpur district, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you name few of the districts through which river Ganga passes through in Uttar Pradesh?
So, sir, can I take a moment to recall?
Sure.
Uh, so I believe River Ganga passes through the districts of Kannauj, uh, Kanpur, Fatehpur, Prayagraj, and Mirzapur as well, sir.
Banaras.
Yes, sir. Definitely, it passes through the district of Banaras as well.
Okay. So what is your take on this conspiracy theory, like the extrajudicial killings of this Mukhtar Ansar or Vikas Dubey or such criminals? Do you think there is some conspiracy theory in this?
So I believe at the time of these incidents, there were certain conspiracy theories going around, especially on the various social media platforms.
So do you agree with it? What's your take on this?
So, uh, sir, I would say that I wouldn't agree with certain conspiracy theories. First of all, because of the very reason they are called conspiracy theories. Secondly, sir, I believe that we should focus on the facts and the issues at our hand and analyze them as they are. Considering, sir, in the cases like these uh, uh, criminals were pursued and were under the custody of police and were taken to towards medical examination as well as other procedures that are standard procedures followed by the administration and the police. So I wouldn't dwell into these conspiracy theories regarding these killings, sir.
Okay, fine. Can you tell us the difference between environment and ecology?
So, uh, so I would say environment is everything that surround us, including the abiotic and the biotic components that we have around us. Uh, on the other hand, ecology is the interrelationship between the various components that we have in our environment that are linked with various functions and flow of energies between them.
Isn't ecology the study of something?
Sorry, sir, I would like to correct myself. So it is the study of these functional relationship and the intricacies between these components.
Okay, fine. So there is a barren land, right? And you want it to get converted into a forest.
So,
So which pioneer species you would like to introduce there?
so I would first assess that the barren land lies in which kind of geography, whether it is a desert ecosystem, a coastal ecosystem, or a plain ecosystem. So I would believe that if it is in a semi-arid kind of a region, then we can start with some types of grasses.
And if it is a coastal ecosystem?
Uh, Sir, I'm not entirely sure about what would be the pioneer species in coastal systems.
Fine. So can you tell me three difference between Hindustani music and Carnatic music?
Sure, sir. Uh, so first of all, the Hindustani classical music is based on the seven notation system, that's the swaras, while the Carnatic music is based on the 22 Shruti micro note system. Secondly, sir, Hindustani classical has largely influenced from the Mughal as well as the Sultanate period, and has large interminglings with the indigenous music, while Carnatic music largely remains indigenous in character. And thirdly, in terms of instruments, Hindustani classical has instruments like tabla, harmonium, makhavaj, while the Carnatic music has instruments like mridangam, veena, and nadaswaram, sir.
Okay. So my last question to you: Who is the governor of UP right now?
Sir, Governor of Uttar Pradesh is Srimati Anandiben Patel.
Thank you, Ron. So that's all from my side. Now over to you, Kshitij, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening to you, Rohan.
Good evening, sir.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, sir. Thank you.
Good to know. Rohan, tell me about the Forest Conservation Act, some salient features of it.
Forest Conservation Act 1980 was primarily enacted to prevent large-scale diversion of forest lands that we had towards non-forestry purposes. The act has been recently amended as well, with certain relaxations given. For example, strategic linear projects under 100 kilometers of boundaries of our boundaries, international boundaries can be exempted from the provisions of the act. Also, sir, we had a major landmark judgment, the T. N. Godavarman judgment, that expanded the definition of forests under this act, and brought all the dictionary definitions of forest in the provisions of this act, sir.
Is it still called the Forest Conservation Act?
Sir, with the recent amendment, the act's name has been changed and it's called the Van Sanrakshan and Samvardhan Act, sir.
Van Sanrakshan Evam Samvardhan Adhiniyam. Fine. So does it prevent, does it say that no, for the forest land will not be, because you said to discourage or to prevent large scale transfer of forest land for non-forestry purposes? Does it say no, or does it provide a mechanism? What do you have to say?
So, uh, so, the Forest Conservation Act provides detailed provisions regarding the permissions so as to how any forest land can be diverted for non-forestry purposes. It does not outrightly ban any diversion of forest land towards non-forestry purposes, sir.
Fine. So, I mean, this was there even before the current amendments took place. Why do you think these amendments were necessary?
So I believe there are multiple reasons for that. First of all, I would say, sir, the act in itself is uh, almost 40 years old, and needs revision, considering our shift in developmental priorities, as well as the aspect of climate change and environment that we have. Secondly, sir, I would say it has a strategic component to it, where fast tracking of such strategic projects can be done, uh, and it does not uh, get delayed in the process. And thirdly, I would say, sir, the act and its subsequent revision in its rules also tries to increase the private participation in afforestation efforts. So that's the knowledge that I have.
Good that you brought up the last point. Let's talk about that. What component of the now amended Van Sanrakshan Evam Samvardhan Adhiniyam allows for private participation?
Sir, as I can recall, in the rules of the act, there is a provision that previously grown or beforehand grown forests by private players can be considered for the compensatory afforestation plantations, sir.
There is a specific name to it. Are you able to recall?
No, sir. I am sorry, sir.
Okay, fine. It is, I believe it is called accredited compensatory afforestation. Uh,
Sir.
as we are discussing, could you you work for a very reputed steel company as well?
Yes, sir.
Many of these companies have some. I believe yours must also have some CSR policies. Could you talk about them and how do they relate to environment?
Uh, Sir, to my knowledge, my company was engaged primarily in two CSR activities. It was regarding the educational upliftment of the children around its primary location. And also, sir, they conducted regular blood donation drives and donated them to the nearby hospitals. So I'm not aware of any specific environment related CSR activity by that company, sir.
Fine. By any other company? Any notable company in India or abroad?
So, uh, sir, as I can recall, related to, I would say, environment issue, so the Tata Group conducts a regular interactive program called Samvad for the tribal upliftment, sir, where the tribal culture, the tribal knowledge is promoted. And I would say, sir, that has a close relationship with the environment, sir.
Fine. I believe, as I mean, a well-read person like you is not able to recall many initiatives because there are not many. So that brings to the next question. Why do you think there are less initiatives by private players in the environment sector? I'm not just talking about CSR, even startups. You see a lot many startups in the technology domain, but not many in environment. Why do you think so?
So, uh, I would say that it is a reality of our times that other fields have been focused more comparatively to the aspect of environment and environmental conservation in such private participation. But I would believe, sir, that in the recent times there has been an uptick in this regard. So there are for-profit organizations like Forest, which are working towards Miyawaki plantations. There are also NGOs like United for Bangalore, which have worked in the field of rejuvenation of lakes and uh, and ameliorating the water crisis in the urban cities. So I believe, sir, there has been some uptick in this regard, but yes, sir, I believe it needs to be a lot more.
Good. So, talking about now the other side of the coin, are you aware of the term biopiracy?
Yes, sir.
Could you elaborate?
So, so I believe, sir, biopiracy is the illegal use of any biological resource or knowledge without accruing the benefits of the legitimate local communities that have that knowledge with them. So
Fine. Now, your definition is, I believe, absolutely correct. And uh, tell me, what are some of the natural resources in India which have faced such concerns of biopiracy?
uh, so I would say the largest resources that we have are the neem and the turmeric that have faced a very large problem of such biopiracy. And it was due to our concerted efforts that this could be highlighted and prevented. So,
Fine. What is India's institutional mechanism to deal with such kind of things? I believe there is a multi-layered setup, and there are some global conventions also. Could you name a few?
so, so globally, we have the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, which deals with this aspect with its provisions of fair and sustainable use, as well as the access and benefit sharing part of it. Uh, At the national level, we have implemented the Biological Diversity Act, sir, which deals with the provisions of biopiracy and the same aspects. Uh, in the Act itself, sir, we have a multi-layered provision where we have biodiversity management committees at the local levels. And so we have the state biodiversity boards at the state level. And so I'm not able to recall the name of the national body, sir, but we have the
Yes,
national.
it is the, you're right, it is the National Biodiversity Authority. And tell me, there is one fundamentally talking about the biodiversity management committees. There is one very specific document that they prepare, which is at the heart of our biodiversity conservation. Could you talk about it?
Uh, so as I can recall, it's called the People's Biodiversity Register, and it's the document that tries to incorporate the biological resources that are found in that region, sir.
Fine. Uh, Now, let's discuss about steel now.
So,
Since you've been working in it, tell me, I have a question for you. Suppose I have to design a few benches for a classroom.
so
Tell me, which is a better material, wood or steel?
yes, sir, can I take a moment to
Sure,
assess?
sure, sure. I believe you should restrict your answer to environmental aspects, ecological aspects to it.
So, so I would say that considering the impact it would have on getting the wood for this classrooms, it would be better that we can use steel furniture because additionally, sir, it will be more durable, and hence it will need to be replaced in fewer intervals, sir.
Don't you think that mainstreaming the use of wood would allow for a more sustainable use of this biomass, or would, let's say, act as a carbon sink, or would promote plantation of more wood? Don't you think from that perspective?
So considering that, I would definitely say that it will increase wood industry and overall production of wood in a sustainable manner. But I would also say, sir, that at the same time, we should focus on the supply aspect of it by focusing on the initiatives of agroforestry and social forestry and streamlining them so that a steady supply of wood is readily available, sir.
Fine. Considering that a steady supply of wood is there, I believe steady supply of steel is also there because there is demand.
So,
So I think companies like your company or some other major steel companies, they are in existence because of this regular supply. To to ensure a healthy growth of wood-based industry, don't you think we need to mainstream such use of wood sustainably?
uh,
What 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 I want to ask you is that suppose I mean, we are all for environment conservation. We are working for it. And what is better for environment conservation? Preventing tree felling or allowing it?
So I believe sustainable extraction of timber should be the way forward,
Mhm.
because it
Define it for me. It's more of a it's be more concrete about it. Tell me, suppose you have to use wood. Tell me a sustainable way how to do it.
So I would say that one of the aspects where we can have sustainable extraction, it is increasing the private sector participation. So through scientific plantations, increased efficiency as well as productivity of the timber that we have in terms of its rotation period and the extraction processes. So we can both increase the quantity as well as the quality, while catering that it does not lead to a widespread exploitation of the timber and the green cover that we have, sir. And that should be the crux of extracting wood for various purposes, sir.
Okay. I see that you are very much interested in trekking. Tell me the most memorable trek that you went to.
So, so the most memorable trek event was the Gomukh Tapovan trek, which starts from Gangotri and goes towards the mouth of the river Ganges, that is Gomukh, and further goes to Tapovan, which is an alpine meadow and located at the base of Mount Shivling, sir.
Okay. So, have you been to treks in India or outside as well?
No, sir, I've not.
Only been in India. Okay. Tell me, uh, I mean, what did you observe there? How can we like trekking could be a sustainable income generating activity for the local communities? What are some of the ways in which this activity can be utilized more for the general public?
So, so first of all, I would say that increasing the awareness as well as training among the local people, so that they can act as guides as well as uh, uh, trekking experts in the region would be one aspect. Secondly, I would say so engaging them in the cleanliness and as well as the management aspects of these trek routes would be another aspect which would be beneficial for the local communities. Thirdly, sir, I would say many of the trekking regions have the concepts of uh, camping as well as temporary stays. So I would say, sir, homestay model can be implemented in this regard, which can be a good ecotourism aspect. And so those are the aspect I can recall right now.
Fine. I couldn't help but notice that in many of the answers you mentioned the river Ganga, since you've been living close in the landscape. Tell me about the Clean Ganga mission. I mean, we all read it in books, but what are your perspectives? You seem to be very closely, since all your life you've lived in that area. What are some of the impacts that you've seen on the ground
So,
of this mission?
I would say that recently there has been a lot of positive change in this regard. So many of the ghats that we have in our own district have been developed and are now seen as good tourism destinations as well. So we have also, in specifically in my district, there has been a program where uh, a prominent place has been identified as Gangetic River dolphin spotting site. So it also promotes tourism as well as there has been work towards creating awareness among the farmers, the fishermen, sir, towards letting the dolphins go and preventing any bycatch killing, sir. So that's the aspect, sir, that I can recall right now, sir.
Good to know. Fine, Rohan. My final question: are you aware of something called a musical garden in India?
Sir, I've definitely heard about it, but I'm not aware of it right now, sir.
Okay, tell now since you've heard about it. So such a place exists. Suppose you are there in service and you have a lot of forest area under you. How can you develop it like a musical garden? Some of it, like in aspect of a social forestry area or a public area. How can you develop it like a musical garden?
So though I'm not aware of the original idea, but I would think in two ways, sir. So there are a lot of musical instruments which utilize different kinds of woods uh, uh, for their construction. So we can begin with plantation of such a species to create an awareness regarding their connection with music. Also, sir, I would believe that musical garden can be in a way related to the sounds that any forested area makes. So I would also try to focus on that and utilize its ecotourism potential to the best, sir.
Fine. These are some good insights. Thank you for your time, Rohan. It
Thank
was
you,
nice
sir.
talking to you.
So, Rajnish sir, you want to ask anything else?
No, Mayank, this much is good for me.
So, all right, Rohan, your mock interview is over. You can
Thank
please
you,
leave the call for a few minutes, and I'll text you to join back for the feedback. Right?
sir.
Thank you.